Chapter 3. True to his word, Rick Dawkins drops me at the apartment. No questions, no apologies either, for the story he wrote about that hearing, or for the stories he wrote subsequently, or for the tidal wave of media coverage that first story generated, or for the odd looks and the ridicule and the plummeting credit score. Still, I thank him for the ride and jump out of his car and run up the narrow exterior flight of stairs to our apartment door. I'm locked inside safely before the TV crews catch up with me. Lee and I live on the north edge of the Euclid Heights downtown area, a little west of the village square. An alley at the foot of our stairs goes south half a block and hits Southeast Highway, whose diagonal passage through town forms one side of the trapezoidal shape of our block. The building that contains our one-bedroom apartment, the barber shop, and a shuttered florist, faces Collier Street. Across Collier is a Chinese restaurant that has been around for as long as I can remember. My dad used to pick up bags of takeout from there on his way home from work. Across the alley from us is a tavern and restaurant named Benny's, whose menu includes an $8 soup and sandwich plate that I can order from the stairway landing outside our apartment door by simply calling down to whoever is taking a smoke break by the restaurant's rear entrance, which faces the alley. Tonight it's Benny Jr. himself down there. He's a heavy-gutted man of indeterminate age, closer to 65 than 50, rippling white hair brushed straight back, and the put-upon air of the wage slave working off someone else's passion. He inherited the place from his late father, also named Benny. For the rest of his life he will be ever Junior. He stands in the doorway of his restaurant, regarding with distaste the media that has tracked me down, yet ordered nothing to eat. A TV truck idles at the curb. A van is parked in the alley entrance. My appearance on the porch draws camera lights, like I've chosen this elevated position to make a long-awaited statement. The crews and reporters clot at the foot of the stairs. Rick Dawkins is not among them. I shout my dinner order down to Junior. Reporters jotted in their notebooks. "I must talk to you," he calls back. "Can it wait? It's about your girl." I wouldn't have been more shocked if he had said, "It's about your X-ray results." I had no idea Junior even knew Penny. TV beams light my way back down the stairs. "Josh," someone asks, "what happened at the school?" "Nothing," I say. "Did they enroll Penny?" "No." "Does she miss her life in 1918? I try to edge through. They close ranks. "Do you miss 1918? I'm about to say no, but realize in time that such an admission would only open me to questions regarding what it was about 1918 that made me not miss it. Benny Jr. pulls me free, down the alley and in through the side door of his business. I expect to go to the right into the dining area, but he guides me left, taking a hallway past the restrooms, through the kitchen to a closet he uses as an office. "I saw you on TV," he says, sitting at his desk. "You remind me of your dad." Another shock. "You knew my dad?" "Racetrack Ray was good people." He gets down to business. "Your girl has no social." "Penny?" I ask, thinking this is a stupid question, but thinking who knows what else is out of whack in this version. Something that sounds like a pillar of dinner plates crashes in the next room. Junior jumps up. "Yes, no social security number," he yells before dashing out of the office. He's gone for less than a minute, but in the time away he changes from a white shirt to a black shirt. "Penny applied for a job here?" "Applied and hired, but she has no social." "No. My customers like her." "She's nowhere near 21, I say." He waves away that impediment. "No social means that she is not officially here," he says. "Actually better for me. I pay her a little in cash, and she gets tips being a pretty girl who is fast on her feet. Tell her to call me." A waiter appears with the meal I ordered. "And your food," Benny Jr. says. I peek through the door into the alley. The reporters and TV trucks are gone. "Where'd they all go?" I ask no one in particular. "Probably someone somewhere say they could fly or some other crazy shit, and off they went to pester him," Benny Jr. says. I scramble up the stairs to the apartment. The message light is flashing on our phone. "Please be Penny." It's Kurt. "Brother man," his croon of a voice says, "meet my train." It's cool for an August evening, so I tug on the sweatshirt issued by the school bus company that had employed me until my story broke. Parents didn't want their children transported by a driver who thought he could travel through time. I think they were afraid I'd take their kids with me. I wasn't positive I wouldn't either, and was sort of relieved to be let go. I wasn't out of work for long, though. Randall, the big lug from the courtroom, had found me a job working with him at the Bucksco Wholesale Outlet. He was more than happy to help. After Penny's hearing, he had followed us out of the courtroom. His stammered approach to us in the hallway was touching, in that he could not seem to decide if he was more interested in my daughter or in me. Before we could find out, a sheriff's deputy exited the courtroom. "Your turn, Randall," he said, holding the door for him. "You'll wait for me?" he asked Penny, who laughed, and admitted later that that was the line that won her affections. Lee returns home just as I'm leaving to meet Kurt's train. Her dispatcher's uniform has a shoulder patch shaped like a horse's head to honor the racetrack west of town, Euclid Park. I'd never been there. My dad, Racetrack Ray, evidently had. "How did it go at school?" Lee asks. "No dice." She steps in close and slides her hands into the pouch of my sweatshirt. She makes 2 fists and gently punches my stomach. "You tried," she says. She's still out there, uneducated. Feral. "It's going to be a problem all her life," I say. "Jobs, school, anything official." I rattle off a familiar number. "That's her social. I wonder if someone in this has it. This version?" "Right," Lee says. "Now." She's waitressing at Benny's. Lucky her. The arriving train causes a vibration in the apartment floor. "I'm meeting Kurt's train." "Why?" Lee asks. "He asked me to." Uh-oh. People come off the train in a sullen mass. I seek a familiar face among the scowls. Then Kurt is in front of me. Younger than I am by a year, smarter by half. He needs a shave, and for a moment I'm reminded of the Kurt who had spent too much time at the bottom of a swimming pool, trapped inside a towel caddy with his drowned best friend. Brain-damaged Kurt. That version of my brother had been too busy walking all over town to shower or shave. "Thanks for coming," he says in a low, tired voice. I expect us to follow the thinning stream of men and women on the sidewalk heading toward Collier Street, but Kurt takes my arm and pulls me in a different direction, away from the homeward bound. He leads me along a strip of storefronts facing the highway, a UPS outlet, a Baby Gap, a California pizza kitchen, and down an alley that feels so new I expect to see shrink wrap on the dumpsters. "I need your help," Kurt says. "Okay, I'm going to Venezuela to build this bridge." "Say what?" "Caracas first, then into the jungle," he says. "A suspension bridge over the Tiger River. I didn't say anything before this because other firms were bidding. Today we got it. 3 of us are going ahead to do prep work." The alley opens onto Collier. He stops us there in the shadows. "I want you to watch out for Colleen," he says. "Sure," I say. He locks his eyes with mine. "I'm not coming back." "What?" "I'm going to Venezuela, yes, to build this bridge," he says, "but it's also an exit strategy. After Venezuela, it'll be somewhere else. The main thing is, I'm not coming back to 1112 East Collier Street." "Have you told Colleen?" "No." "You have to tell her," I say. "When I'm not there anymore, she'll get the hint." I walk him all the way home. The light is on over the front door. I can't imagine Kurt not living there. It's his home, our home, where we grew up and where my father died, and where Kurt and Colleen lived when they got the house and I moved away into this new version of my life. They seemed happy. Plenty of summer evenings I had seen Colleen in short shorts and flip-flops washing the car or squatting to pinch bagworms off the arbor vitae, a martini mixed fresh and icy and waiting for her husband, who always arrived with a smile and a big kiss. "Come in with me," he says. "Nah," I say, backing away. "You should tell her." I cross Collier and venture into the park shadows. The ground is crusty with dried goose turds. I watch Kurt on the porch as he hunts for his key, like I'm afraid to leave until he's safely inside. To my left, down at the end of the block, is the old library. Behind me, already lit up for the evening swimmers, is the pool where the previous Kurt almost drowned because of my mortal enemy who no longer exists. Never has. The door to the house opens. Colleen holds a goblet of white Zinfandel, which the light from the living room turns into a fat, pale ruby resting in her palm. The kiss she gives her husband is one I imagine he could live on for a while in Venezuela.